It's the BnB Show. Welcome back to the BnB Show. This is episode 5. In place for Mr. Hot Take, we have our cameraman Jake Morelli.
What's up, everybody?
And yeah, let's get right into it. We start off, idea shootout. Ben, what's your topic?
I want to bring up a topic that was changed a couple of years ago, the overtime rule. What do you guys think about it? Do you think we should change it? Do you like it how it is? Do you like games ending in ties? What do you guys think?
Honestly, I think that now seeing that overtime games are starting to be a little bit more common. Last year, we didn't see, it seems like we are seeing more overtime games this year than we did last year, and those games are ending in ties. I don't have a problem with the rules as far as I don't believe that the first drive, if they score, they win. I don't think that rule's fair, but I don't think ties should be in place in the NFL anymore. I think they should do a system similar to how the NCAA does it. Each team gets a shot, and I think they need to change it as far as the ties go. Not as far as so much as most of the rules in overtime. I think that's pretty straightforward, but I think they got to do something about the ties.
I agree with you on that. I like how college football, you get the ball at the 30, and it's just back and forth. Whoever scores and holds the other team back first wins. And I feel like we're talking about professional football, not college football. I mean, these guys get paid to go out there and end in a tie. I feel like they should maybe start on the 50-yard line in the pros, have that same idea back and forth, and have the winner determined that way.
See, I agree. What we shouldn't do is the first touchdown rule. I think that should be changed because that's not fair to the other team. You win the coin toss, obviously you're going to receive. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But obviously, as you saw in the Browns game yesterday, or
I want to talk about that.
that they choked once again. But I don't agree with the overtime rule whatsoever. I think it should be an NCAA.
And bringing up the ties this year, we've already seen 2. I think that plays a big role when it comes playoff time. I think that screws over a lot of teams, and I think that's not fair to certain teams that end in the tie, because if you're being held out of a wild card spot or losing your division over a tie, I don't think that's fair, because who knows, they could have ended up winning the game, say, if there's a double overtime rule or it goes until they score or the other team outscores the other. I honestly think that's how it should be, but I don't think it's fair to the players and the teams that are getting held out of the playoffs that we're probably going to see this year.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely with the Steelers, because I don't think they're going to win that division or how it's looking. But
Yeah,
I think that's going to play a factor. It's going to play a role in playoff seeding, who gets in the wild card, who wins the division. That's got to be changed, in my opinion.
I feel like there shouldn't even be a time limit.
Kind of like college. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, I'm glad we all agree on that. All right, Nate, what's your idea?
Everybody watched, at least most people watched the Steelers game on Sunday night. Obviously, the rushing game wasn't there, and I think a big controversy. Is it time for the Steelers to give LeVeon his money, to bring back the triple Bs, and be that elite, lethal offense that everybody's used to seeing?
Jake, we'll start with you.
I think they should. They're in need of running back. James Conner is solid, but yesterday the run game was not there. And I agree that I think LeVeon should be brought in.
10 rushes for 19 yards. That's a big problem.
That's horrible.
Just pay him. Nate, agree with Jake?
Yeah, I agree. And this is going against what I said in week 1 about not paying him, possibly trading him. It's a mess right now. The Steelers offense is god awful. The defense is twice as bad, and there's no way of getting Antonio Brown open the way they'd be able to do it. When Le'Veon's on that field, you have to worry about the rushing. You have to worry about the running game. when James Conner's on the field, you don't have to worry about that as much. And I'm not trying to knock James Conner, but I just don't think that he's ready, and I don't think his place is to be the replacement to LeVeon Bell. I think that's a little bit too much coming out of his rookie season, being a backup, not getting many carries. I don't think it's good. I think they got to pay him. I would say maybe go for like a 3-year deal, and maybe not a 5-year deal, but just give him the guaranteed money. I think that's what you need to be successful if you're the Steelers.
I think you pay him now ever since Earl Thomas is hurt now.
Yeah.
That was their number one trade with the Seahawks. And now since that's not there anymore, you need to pay the dude.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's time for them to do something with Le'Veon Bell. I mean, I feel like the bridge between him and the team is burnt.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's no repairing the relationship there between the offensive line talking about his contract and, like, kind of,
Taking shots at him.
Yeah, taking shots at him. Like, they're not going to want to protect him they're not going to want to run block for him. I feel like if the run game is this big of a concern, trade him for a complimentary back to James Conner.
Okay.
I mean, you don't need to trade him for, like, a big name like Earl Thomas or, well, I mean, now they can't, but
Obviously.
trade him for like a big name player on the defense. Trade him for a running back that will complement James Conner's run style.
Okay.
And I mean, as much as I was against holding out, which we'll talk about later,
I understand now.
now I understand after seeing Earl Thomas go down.
It was bad.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. All right, so taking the place of Mr. Hot Take, we have idea shootout from Jake. Let's see what he has.
Is Juju Smith the next Antonio Brown?
Yes.
What's your reason? Okay, go ahead.
Now, I don't want to give Juju too much credit because with the absence of Le'Veon Bell, the rushing game is horrible. But Antonio Brown is getting double-teamed on every single play, except for the exception of a few plays when he's lined up in the slot. It's not so much where he's not getting open, it's that he's getting either double-teamed or they're always putting a safety over top on his side. And Juju's right there. He's on the other side of him all the time, and he's there. He's open. It's one-on-one, or he's beating his man, getting open in that pocket between the safety and the corner. And that's why I think he's being so successful. Now, saying, will he be the next Antonio Brown? Not while Antonio Brown is in his prime, but him being the young receiver, he almost had 1,000 yards his rookie season as the second receiver. Third receiver coming in until Martavis Bryant. He took over Martavis Bryant's spot. So him leading the team in yards and receptions is big. But I just don't know what he will do when he takes over that number one receiving role when Antonio Brown is gone in the future or not what he is now. But I think he has a lot of potential. I think he's going to be a big name. Yes, I think he has the potential to be the next Antonio Brown.
The reason why I brought this up is like the Hines Ward Antonio Brown situation. Antonio Brown took Hines Ward's spot when he was out of his prime. He took over and was the best receiver. Now you look at him, getting double covered, triple covered, and you have Juju Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Juju Smith's thriving right now as kind of a apprentice to. That's the wrong word to use. I thought of Mickey Mouse with like the wizard hat on. No, Juju is doing a good job of playing behind Antonio Brown right now, and kind of like what Nate mentioned, I'd say next year if something crazy happens, I don't think Juju Smith could come in and be a number one receiver like Antonio Brown is, but maybe 3 years down the line, I could see him being just a great receiver. I mean, the Steelers, I give them a lot of credit. They know who to draft. They know who they want, why they want them. And, I mean, Juju Smith, they kind of hit out the park. I mean, he's going to be a big player in the league one day. And he's only 20 years old now.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a lot ahead of him.
I agree.
All right. So that's it for Idea Shootout. Coming up, we're going to talk about Mitch Trubisky's performance against the Bucks. What?
The Bucks, bro.
We could talk about the Bucks meltdown during the game too. Players holding out, including Earl Thomas. We brought that up earlier, and then we're going to come up with our Week 5 predictions. So first up, after the Idea Shootout, we're going to talk about Mitch Trubisky's performance versus the Bucks. First impression, looking at the numbers, what do you guys think?
Being a hometown guy, going to Menor High School, I'm glad to see it. He impressed me. This is the first game I've seen him show signs of him being an elite quarterback, him having his place. The Bears, I would kind of say that they were a little worried heading up to this game with him being the number 2 pick in last year's draft. But he completely destroyed the Buccaneers defense. I'm sorry, but oh my goodness, he picked them apart. 5 touchdowns in the first half, insane. First Bears quarterback to throw for 5 touchdowns in a game since 1970-something, 1980-something, and he did that in the first half. This Bears team is turned it around. Mitch Trubisky, watch out for the next couple of years. I think he's going to be something great, and it's good to see him succeed, especially being from our area.
To give a young quarterback weapons like he has right now, and a defense that has
Khalil Mack.
I was about to say a pass rusher that somebody didn't want to pay. I'd say that he has the potential to be a top 5 quarterback in the next couple of years. He looked just calm. Like
He did.
I mean, it takes a lot to throw for 354 yards and completing almost 3/4 of your passes. He looked like a veteran back there. I don't want to jump the gun and be but I'd say that it was definitely a career-defining moment for him if he continues this path.
Do you think he's the Bears quarterback?
Yeah, I've said that from the time he was drafted. I mean, it took him. I mean, it's gonna take him a while to learn everything. You saw it last game. He learned. You could see him learning throughout the time, but since I'm a Browns fan, I don't really have good opinions on quarterbacks. I said Johnny Manziel was the answer. Deshaun Kaiser. I'm sure I said Brandon Weeden was the answer. So for me to say Mitch Trubisky's the answer isn't really much of a accomplishment or anything. But what do you think?
I agree with Nate. Hometown guy. I'm happy for him.
Mm-hmm.
You see these Bucks, they were feared when Ryan Fitzpatrick was starting to do good.
Fitzmagic.
Now, as you can see, he just tore them apart.
It's tragic.
Don't make me get started how they put Jameis in.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what the deal.
Threw an interception his first drive.
That's why I don't know. They got.
What does he do?
No
He does
words.
crosses his fingers. He's like, we're getting this dub.
Yeah.
Shave that beard.
Hit it off wrong. Got a little L right there. To the Bears. All right.
Exactly.
I mean, now you can't really say much, but the Bears.
I know.
They're still not. I mean, the Bears. Yes, they did improvements. They were one of the worst teams in the league
I don't
last
think
year.
they're a playoff contender.
No, not this year. Not this year.
They'd be lucky to sneak in one of the wild card spots, but no, I still think they're a year away.
I say 2 years.
I'd say a year. I mean, let them have an off season that they could get more free agents and spend that money. I mean, Khalil Mack's only going to get better. He's young
Exactly.
still. I'm just interested to see what he does next week. You know, if he could
keep it up.
Yeah, keep it up. I mean, I think he's up for. I mean, not. I think he's definitely up for offensive player of the week.
Yeah.
And he deserves it.
Oh, for
Yeah, he
sure.
does. All right, so kind of coming back to what we were talking about with the players holding out with Earl Thomas's injury. What are your thoughts on how Earl Thomas kind of played out, holding off on the extension? How he said either extend my contract or trade me. Still coming in, each week coming to practice, even though he was unhappy with the contract situation, still getting in there, being the team player, and then obviously the tragic breaking his leg. How do you guys think that all went down? What's your views on it?
I truly feel bad for him, honestly. I don't know if you saw the video, but he was unhappy with his injury.
What makes you think that, huh?
Flipping off his own bench.
He was on the cart and you just
sent him a few tweets, right? The birds.
I truly feel bad for him. I think he deserved to be traded, but at the same time, he still kept going to practice. But
and then Le'Veon's comment about how he's going to be the bad guy for players like them, so they don't have to do that. I think that's this is gonna be I feel like this is gonna be more common in the NFL going on now with players and their contracts. Yes, I think it's kind of greedy because look at how much money they're making in the first place. Now, I understand that when you compare them to other players, maybe some will be unhappy with what they think they're worth. But coming in, someone like Le'Veon Bell, who's missing out on $850,000 a game, I don't see that being the right move, just on how much money you're missing out on because you're being greedy and wanting more money.
I don't get that because
I'm kind of on the fence.
The whole Steelers offensive line is getting paid way less than Le'Veon Bell.
Oh yeah.
Just offered. And
yeah.
He wants more than what is offered. And his offensive line is not like that.
No, not at all. I mean,
especially for them being one of the best in the league.
If some stretch of the imagination, somebody came in here and said, I'd pay you even $20 to record this show, I'd jump on that.
Right.
And, this is something I enjoy because we all just talk about it, but...
I mean, we do this in class, get yelled at. Shout out
Sarv.
Shout out Mr. Sarvis.
But...
We love you, though.
But I would say, if it's something you truly enjoy, and you get paid millions of dollars to do it...
So not always about the money.
Why does it matter? Exactly. Why is it about the money?
Right.
Play the game.
I mean, if he's asking for, let's say they were giving him a deal for veterans minimum, but he was committed to the team, I'd say accept it. I mean, it all depends on what kind of person you are, because if you're somebody like, I don't know, I'm trying to remember the last player to take a pay cut. I want to say it was Peyton Manning. Was it?
I mean, I don't know. Look at half the players on the Steelers roster making,
a roster.
Look at all these players on the Steelers that are taking pay cuts, converting their salaries into signing bonuses just to free up cap space to make their team better. They're sacrificing their paycheck so they can let Le'Veon Bell get his paycheck so he'll come back and play and make the team how it used to be. I think there's your selfish players, and then there's your team players, your want-to-win players, and I just don't agree with doing it all for the money, and that's obviously what we're seeing with Le'Veon. And going back to Earl Thomas, I
think he deserved better.
I'm sorry for him. I know I like him. I wouldn't say he's one of my favorite players, but I enjoy watching him play. I don't dislike the guy. I like watching him play. But it's sad to see him go down for the second straight year. But that's the game of football. You can't
take those risks.
You can't. This is what you get paid to do, to come in every day. If you get hurt, that's part of the game.
You have players like Tyler Eifert. Did you see his ankle injury?
Yeah.
That was disgusting. All respects.
Absolutely.
I hope he rests up, but I mean, it sounds like he died or something, but I hope he rests his leg. And Terrence Mitchell on the Browns, he came up.
Dude,
his bone
arm was
man.
That was a sight to see.
Every single time you go out on the field, you take that risk, and it's like you have players fighting concussions. Mr. Hot Take.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's where he is, by the way, concussion protocol, BnB standards. We have players out there, with the whole concussion, CTE research. I mean, they're putting their livelihood on the line to go out and compete.
Right.
And then you have other players who, they want that extra $3 million.
All about the money.
All about the money. And
not
there has to be some type of happy medium, like, this is the amount of money I want, but I'll take this amount of money and be happy and play for your team.
Exactly.
And then you see players, in fact, like Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack, that had the possibility of holding out. You saw Aaron Donald held out and he got paid, but it's just a more common as the years come on. It's getting more severe. Players were holding out of training camps up until week 1, not playing the preseason, and then you see players like LeVeon missing games.
Still hasn't played.
And
Missed a fourth of his season already and doesn't show signs of showing up.
there's no way that you could sit here and put 100% of the blame on LeVeon,
Yeah.
because the Steelers, this happened with LeVeon last year. He held out,
I agree.
missed training camp, came back after they finally, came up with something, but the Steelers should have seen this coming. They should have had something prepared
I
that
agree.
would make him happy, or a trade set in place that if they offer him a contract he didn't want it, then send him on his way.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Give him the boot. Like, don't
don't put it into the regular season. That's causing the
Exactly.
team to lose
that.
its
That's
cohesiveness.
the team morale.
Oh, yeah.
itself.
It's a nice word.
Cohesiveness isn't.
I'm sorry.
You're
You're expected to.
Oh, sorry.
What's that supposed to mean?
Good job, Jake.
Anyways.
We'll work on colors next week.
Yeah.
All right.
And then going back again to it's also the running back position. It has to do with that. I understand why Le'Veon's holding out, but I also understand why the Steelers are not giving him the guaranteed money he wants, because the running back position, I think running backs are the most prone to injuries with the contact they endure going through the lines, going through people. Now, they're not trying to make people miss as much as they are just running through people, running over people. They are probably one of the most contacted. Like, they are making contact. They're trying to get through people. They're getting through their own line, the defensive line, the linebackers, anybody like that. So I feel like the Steelers are hesitant because they don't want to give Le'Veon Bell the $45 million guaranteed that he's expecting, because if he goes down, he tears his ACL, what? Then what? You're screwed. Le'Veon Bell's out. Just his career could end after the first year if he has another major injury like that. Has a history of season-ending injuries. His MCL is, I don't know, anything in his freaking knee.
Sounds like Earl Thomas.
Honestly, yeah.
That would be a good trade to do, but now we don't have to talk about it. So coming up next, we got our Week 5 predictions, and we'll see. Well, we kind of ended this on a bad note. Shout out the players that go to camp, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out the players that are team players.
There we go.
Shout out the players that kiss me.
I thought he was actually saying something like. All right. One more. Wait, one second. All right, so Week 5 predictions. We're going to do something different this week, all right? After all the games are played, we're going to send out a tweet, have everybody's record. Whoever wins, I don't know what they get, but bragging rights, I guess. And then overall record, losers have to pay for dinner, I guess. I don't know.
Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. So,
no, Wingstop.
Oh,
No, Chick-fil-A.
both.
This
One
is not,
loser
this
has
is
to-
not
what-
sponsored, by the way.
Come on. All right.
This is not sponsored.
Brandon's
by the way.
involved in this
But
too.
it
Don't
could
tell
be.
him.
Could be
Don't-
sponsored.
don't tell me.
Chick-fil-A, Wingstop, if you're watching this, you can always hit us up with sponsors, you know.
So.
Call me. What do you mean?
Okay, HR guy. Call Freddie. So, Week 5 predictions, we're going to start, of course, taking part Northeast Ohio. We're going to go Browns, Ravens. Who do you guys have?
I got brownies.
I got the Ravens.
Baker Mayfield's going to have a comeback game.
Yeah.
Browns.
I feel like the Browns will come back. They're mad about the loss.
Does that have anything to do with the fact you're wearing a Browns jersey?
No, because Joe Hayden's on that team. That team is
Well, yeah,
trash.
well, Victor Cruz. Retirement home. All right. Cowboys, Texans. Who do you guys have?
I'm gonna have to go with the Cowboys. Zeke's monster week last year. Come back.
Last week?
Last year.
All right. I'm going to go with the Texans. Deshaun Watson had a great game last, what was it, century? I don't know. Are we making up time frames now? He had a great game. They have to get everybody involved in offense. Defense looking pretty good, so I'm taking Texans in that one.
I'm taking Texans.
I wonder if Robert Woods is gonna be on the
Oh my god. Bruce Arians is coaching for the Cardinals this week.
I was thinking the same thing.
Anyways.
Alright.
Falcons, Steelers.
You know I have to root against the Steelers. Let's go Falcons!
Boy, I'm always gonna rock my team. We got the Steelers. This is going to be an offensive shootout game.
You're a Steelers fan?
Both defenses are god awful. It's not a joke.
That's facts.
This is going to be a 30s, 40s game.
1930s, 40s.
Okay, stop talking.
Matt Ryan put me up 40 points. I'm taking Falcons.
Stop taking my picks. Oh my gosh, we're going to tie. All right. Titans versus Bills. Jake, who do you got?
Is this even a question? I'm taking the Titans.
What do you mean is this a question? The Bills have shown signs of playing great, but I'm taking the Titans.
We have to get you tested for concussion too. I thought you were about to say the Bills. We're going Titans. That's all I have to say. Broncos versus Jets.
Broncos.
Broncos.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Right, don't do
go
it.
against
My boy!
Dude is on the line.
My boy, ready? Broncos. Alright. Packers versus Lions. Lions looked awful this last week. Showed signs against the Patriots, but I'm going to go with the Jets. Wait, what am I talking about?
Packers, Lions.
Packers.
I'm going with the Packers. Aaron Rodgers.
I got Packers.
Toss it up. Jimmy Graham.
I got Packers.
Packers. Jags.
Chiefs.
Jags, Jets.
No, it's
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god, alright.
Nice handwriting, Ben. Jeez Louise.
Shout out. Do you know what? You take it away, Jake.
I got the Jags. Jalen Ramsey.
Really?
got Jags?
Against the Chiefs?
No.
Jalen Ramsey
It's
got the
the
clamps.
Chiefs.
No,
What
Jags.
do you mean? Chiefs are the best team in football right now. Second best team.
Yeah, Rams. Chiefs versus Jags. I'm taking Chiefs. Pat Mahomes.
Let me
My
do this
boy.
one.
Alright.
Giants versus the Panthers. I got Cam Newton.
So you don't got the Panthers, you just got
No,
Cam
I got
Newton.
Cam Newton.
As much as I dislike the Panthers, I'm gonna have to go with them because Giants are still not showing any signs of improvement. So Panthers.
I know you. No way.
Giants!
No way.
Beating the Panthers.
Looks like he's paying for dinner.
Yep.
Or we just make Brandon, the concussed one.
He won't remember. Alright. Miami versus Cincinnati. Miami coming off their first loss. Cincinnati looking decent. They got AJ Green involved this last week, so I'm kind of not happy about it, but it's good to see. Who do you have?
I got Cincinnati.
I got Miami.
Okay. I'm glad you're not too delusional. I'm going Miami. Comeback week. Raiders versus Chargers. Raiders.
We're gonna see my dude.
Coming off. I wasn't done.
Oh, my bad.
We will fight after this.
Wait, isn't this Robert Woods' team?
Yeah, we're gonna see Robert Woods put up big numbers, according to Ben. So I got the Chargers in that one. Oakland's still horrible.
Yeah, I got the Chargers.
Oakland.
Alright. Put that much confidence against the Browns in overtime. Well, Freddie just hit you with it. Alright, we got Arizona versus the 49ers. Two teams struggling right now.
Arizona. That's it.
So,
Larry Fitz, Arizona all the way.
yeah. Arizona.
Philly
49ers
Vikings.
are lost.
Philly
Yeah.
Vikings. Gonna have to go
Ooh.
with
I'm going
the
Philly.
Vikes.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vikes.
Philadelphia.
You think so?
Philly struggled last week.
They did. They looked awful. Carson Wentz, I don't think he's going to have a comeback week this week.
I still believe.
Whatever you say, Jake. You're also a Panthers fan, so that doesn't say much. Rams versus Seahawks, Earl Thomas' team. Or, I had to say it. All right.
I'm gonna have to go with the Seahawks on this one.
Against the Rams?
Only because,
Bro,
only because.
We need to
Listen to me.
Concussion.
Listen to me. Only because it's bound to happen. The Rams are gonna have to get a reality check.
Follow my face. I was just about to do that.
The Rams are gonna have a reality check. Okay.
I got.
Seattle defense is going to come in big. My boy Shaquem Griffin.
Oh my gosh.
I got Robert Woods with the Rams.
Don't steal my line. Robert Woods, Rams, victorious.
What are you writing?
Saints.
Washington versus Saints.
Pause for a brief intermission because Freddie's over here like writing.
All right.
That was horrible.
Anyways, Washington versus Saints. I have the Saints.
I got the Saints.
I'm glad we can all agree to that. Saints.
Baby.
All right. All right, so that was episode 5 of the BnB Show. Had to try it out. Quick shout out to the Perry High School football team beating St. Vincent St. Mary's High School. Any notable graduates from there?
I don't think so. I think there's one dude named LeBron, but I mean, I don't know.
LeBum?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I heard he's trash.
That's why he moved to California, right?
Yeah, moved to California, going to go for his acting career. So as usual, check us out on Instagram, Twitter.
Links in the description for both.
And
Hit that subscribe button. Comment any ideas you think we should take up on. Anything you think we should do better on. Leave a like.
Any fans that have their opinion, feel free to reach out to us. We'll love to have you on the show.
We'll fly you out. First class.
In my car.
Out
So
of
we're gonna
best tuition.
we have to do it again, you know? Freddie.
Get over here,
Come on,
Freddie.
Hit him with it. You gotta hit him with it.
He's been missing for a few weeks, but you know what?
Do
We
it,
finally
do
got
it.
the main MVP
Hit
man
him with
back.
it. Oh!
You don't deserve this. You know what? This is the BnB Show. We're out.